Alright, in this section we're going to cover solving linear system by elimination. So what I mean by elimination is that you're going to cancel out one variable. So in the previous sections, previous examples we did, we were solving for two variables, x and y, a and b, such more, just two variables. Now elimination, the purpose is you cancel out one variable in order to solve for the other one. Now, to elaborate on elimination, when you cancel out one variable, it has to be the same number, it has to be the same variable, and it has to have opposite sign. So just like how we solve equations, in order to cancel out a number, for example 4, you have to combine it with the opposite, which is -4. If you want to cancel out with -6, you have to combine with the opposite, which is +6. So when it comes with variables, if you were to combine with, say, 3x, the opposite would be -3x. So if you were to combine with -10m, then the opposite would be +10m. So that's the point of elimination. You cancel out one variable in order to solve for the other one. Now we're going to apply this to some examples here. In our first example, we have this system consists of 6x minus 12y equals 24. And the second one, -x minus 6y equals 4. Now, you can choose to cancel out with the x, or you can choose to cancel out with the y. Now, let's say I want to cancel out the y's. First off, is there anything common between 12 and 6? Yes, there is. 6 can become 12 if I were to multiply the whole equation by 2. So if I do that, this will become 12y. It's going to be the same number, but here's the issue. In order to cancel out, it has to be the same variable, which it is. And if I were to multiply by 2, it would be the same number, but the problem is it opposite sign? It is not. They both are minus. So in order to cancel out the y's, one has to be negative and the other one has to be positive. If I want this to stay negative and I want this to become positive, so if it's -6y, so if I want this to become positive, so I'm simply going to multiply by another negative. So instead of just 2, I'm going to multiply the whole equation by -2. So I'm going to multiply -2 to the whole equation. So when you're doing elimination, you have to multiply to the whole equation. So I'm going to write it down here. -2 times -x will be +2x. -2 times -6y will become +12y. And then equal sign, -2 times 8 will be, -2 times 4 will be -8. So that's what the equation will look like after you multiply by -2. Then I'm going to bring down the first equation. Nothing changes, so it should stay the same. So 6x minus 12y equal 24. Alright, so once we finish that, and I check, alright, I want to cancel out the y, so it's the same variable, it's the same number, and it's the opposite sign. So that's good. That means that for sure, the 12 y's were going to be canceled out. So when we are eliminating, we're going to combine these two equations. So we're just going to combine them, add them, subtract them based on their sign. So 6x combined with the positive 2x, so I'm basically going to add them together. When I combine them, it will become 8x. Now the y's, -12y plus 12y will cancel out, so I don't need to write the y's anymore. Equal sign, and I'm going to combine this, a +24 with a -8, so that's simply 24 minus 8 which is 16. And since we were able to get a variable by itself, instead of just having two unknowns, we were able to solve for one unknown. So 8x equals 16. If I want to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 8. Do it on the left side, so I can do it on the right side. So when I do that, it's going to be 8x divided by 8 will be simply 1x, or x. Positive 16 divided by positive 8 will be positive 2. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with using elimination. Now, since we got the x value, I can simply just plug it in to any of these equations to solve for the y. So let's say I use the second one because it has smaller numbers, so easy to work with. So if I do that, so x equals 2, and I'm using the second equation, so negative x minus 6y equal to 4. Now this is where I have to be very careful. Since I'm plugging in for the x value, there's a negative in the front. So it's going to be a negative 1 in the front. So we could write it as negative, parenthesis, I'm plugging in 2 for x, close parenthesis, minus 6y equal to 4. Distribute the negative, that becomes negative 2 minus 6y equal to 4. Now, if I want to get the negative 6y to be by itself, I have to cancel out the negative 2. The opposite will be plus 2 on the left side, so therefore plus 2 on the right side. So the 2 cancel out. I'm going to have negative 6y on the left side. 4 plus 2 would be 6. And if I want to solve for y, I'm simply going to divide by negative 6 on both sides. So negative 6y divided by negative 6 would be 1y equal positive 6 divided by negative 6 would be negative 1. So there is our solution for x and y. And if I were to write it as a coordinate point, it would be x comes first, so 2, and then y, which is negative 1. Parenthesis. So 2 comma negative 1. So again, you can either write it as just the x value, like this, with the y value, or you write it as a coordinate point where x comes first and then y. The order does matter, so be very careful. Alright, in our second example, we have a system consists of negative 4x minus 5y equals to 12, positive 6x plus 5y equals to 2. Now, following the rules of elimination, you can easily cancel out the y's because it has the same number and has opposite sign. But say we're not going to do the y's. Say that you choose to eliminate the x. Okay? So looking at the x, and so again, in this example, we're going to choose to eliminate the x instead of y's. And it's another method. You can eliminate y's first, or you can choose to eliminate x, as long as you follow the process correctly. So going on to the x, we see that they have different numbers, which is okay. We can change them to have the same number. But we need to check if they have opposite sign. The first equation has a negative. The second equation has a positive. So the signs are okay. So in this case, we just need to have the same number for x. So if you were to look, what's in common between 4 and 6? A common multiple. And I would say 12, because 4 can go into 12 3 times. 6 can go into 12 2 times. So, now just to review, we're going to do the x as the same variable. They have opposite sign, which is good. Now we just need to convert them to have the same number. So, the common number between 4 and 6 would be 12. So 4 can go into 12 3 times. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3. So when I multiply, I'm multiplying the whole equation. So 3 times negative 4x will be negative 12x. 3 times negative 5y will be negative 15y. And then 3 times 12, positive 12, would be a positive 36. So that's our new first equation. And then our second equation, 6 going to 12 2 times. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 2. So when I'm multiplying, I'm going to multiply to everything to the whole equation. So 2 times 6x, positive 6x, will be a positive 12x. 2 times positive 5y will be plus 10y equal 2 times positive 2 will be positive 4. Alright, so I finished multiplying the second equation by 2. Now I'm going to combine the new two equations together. So looking at it vertically, negative 12x combined with a positive 12x. So since it's positive, it means negative 12x plus 12x, it will cancel out. So moving on to the y's. Negative 15y plus 10y. So when I combine the y's together, basically negative 15 plus 10 will be a negative 5y. Positive 36 combined with positive 4. So basically 36 plus 4 will be 40. Alright, so I'm one step close to solving for y. If I want to get y by itself, I need to divide. Since it's directly in the front, I'm going to divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. So therefore, y will equal to 40 divided by negative 5 will be negative 8. Alright, so y equals negative 8. Next, I'm going to use this y value and plug it into any of the original equation. You can do the first one or you can do the second one. So hey, let's do the second one. So 6x plus 5y equal to 2. So simply we're going to plug in negative 8 into y. So what's it going to look like will be 6x plus 5. Since there's a number in front, parenthesis, negative 8, close parenthesis, equal to 2. So all I did was switch out the y with negative 8. Alright, so I'm going to simplify 5 times negative 8, so 6x positive 5 times negative 8 will be negative 40, so minus 40, equal to 2. Now, if I want to get 6x to be by itself, on the left side, I need to cancel out the negative 40, or the minus 40. So the opposite of it will be plus 40. So plus 40 on the left side, therefore plus 40 on the right side. So on the left side would be 6x, and the 40 cancel out. On the right side, 2 plus 40 will be 42. Alright, I'm going to write right here, since I'm running out of space, so 6x equal positive 42. If I want to solve for x, I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. So 6x divided by 6 will be 1x. 40, positive 40 divided by positive 6 would be a positive 7. So there is our x value. So if I were to write it as a coordinate point, x always comes first. Remember that, x always comes first. So 7, comma, and our y value, which is negative 8, parenthesis. So there is our solution to the system, 7, comma, negative 8. Or you can box up x equals 7 and y equal to negative 8. So that's what you would do in the event you have to multiply both equations by a number to get the same number, in this case negative 12x and positive 12x, just to cancel out the x. So again, In the event you have to multiply both equations, make sure to have opposite sign, same variable, and same number.